Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Thursday. This is the Hoops Hour, but it's not going to be an hour, but we're here nonetheless. I told you maybe I'd be on today at some point for maybe 15 or 20 minutes, and I figure why not come on now before I get ready to start my night. So we'll be here for about 15, 20 minutes. We'll go over, I don't know, a few games, try to find some value on the card. Show's been good. Free picks that I like supplement as free picks haven't necessarily been good over the last day, but it's all good. We're here for info. We'll try to bang out some bangers tonight. I do have a premium play tonight, which I am very excited about. To me, it is the best player on the board. If you want that, you can find me at rightwager.com. We'll take about 20 minutes here. We'll fit as many games as we can in that time slot. Do have a cool announcement that I want to make everyone aware of. We'll be kind of partnering throughout the tournament and over the next few months at least with a new sponsor. Looking forward to chatting with all of you about that over the next minute or two here. And then we will get into the games. And I got to tell you, there are some interesting spots today on the card. And we will get into those. Let's again. I have my V-Day card here, all prepared for that. As Valentine's Day is here, and I'm kind of trying to understand. I mean, I haven't had a Valentine for a while. I've been single for a few years. The last girlfriend I had was a few years ago, and it's now I'm a big boy. I'm getting towards my 30s, and now I have to. Let me just verify this here. I have to do a call in today. So so I'm kind of new to it. I'm not new to it. I know how to treat a woman, and this is no different than usual. I'm a nice guy regardless of whether it's a holiday. But one thing I can tell all of you guys: make sure you take care of your girl, not just today, always. Women are our queens. They're the ones that are our rocks. So make sure you take care of your woman, not only today, but every day. You shouldn't need a holiday to tell them that you care about her. Let's get into it here. I want to tell everyone I'm very excited. New promo. We got a sponsor. And this is a great way to make sure you keep this show running. It's a great sponsor. And as always, the key to keeping a show running is supporting the sponsors. I think it's a sponsor you all will like, you all enjoy, and you probably will be able to get some value like I did. Make sure you're checking out the great people at MyBookie. MyBookie.ag has been in business for a long period of time. I use them myself. They were kind enough to tell me more about their website, and I got to tell you, a lot of great lines. As the tournament comes, as conference tournaments come, you want to make sure you diversify your sports books. Make sure you have multiple ones, and MyBookie is very simple. You can get paid in as little as 24 to 48 hours when you want to secure the bag, as they say. They have a $50,000 March Madness contest coming up, and they have all sorts of different lines. Whether you're looking for hoops, golf, soccer, whatever you want, MyBookie has it for you. Right now, if you go get an account, use the promo code BMOC. You'll right away, once you deposit, you get a 50% bonus on whatever you deposit up to $1,000. Use the promo code BMOC when you're creating your account, and they will take care of you. Also, if you're a Barstool fan, which a lot of people are, I know this is where they have the rough and rowdy line. So a lot of cool things going on here. They have Bitcoin depositing. They have great withdrawal options, easy ways to do that. And they have plenty of contests and that kind of thing. So make sure you're checking it out. Maybe you're looking to put some futures in. They got some great future odds coming up here. And I got to tell you, I'm a line guy. Lines are pretty solid as well. Make sure you check it out, MyBookie. It's a great way to support the show. Make sure you check out MyBookie now. Use the promo code BMOC when you open your account. You'll instantly get 50% on your bonus. Let's get into the show here. And again, guys, I want to make this very clear. That's how you support. You got to support shows to keep them running. Most of you come on my show, you get great information for free. Make sure you're supporting the sponsor, mybookie.ag. Use the promo code BMOC. This is obviously, as far as a promotion, only for new accounts. Let's get into the show here. I'm going to go through a couple games. I'm not going to go through everyone. And again, I know not many people think we're on. I know people are working, so people might be checking this out after the fact. Rashawn Brown's checking out the show. Thanks for watching. BitXN, Anthony, Phillip, Dennis, Jordan, Guan, Shadow, Alex, Barham, Alex, Dennis. The max money you can get to get the promo, I believe, is $1,000. Yeah, $1,000. So a nice chunk of change there. You can still get a good bonus on it. You put $100 in, you're getting $50 free to bake a wager on whatever you want. So make sure you're supporting the sponsors. Let's get into the show. First game I want to take a look at, Illinois, Ohio State. I've had a lot of kind of looking at this game. I really think it's interesting, but I have some concerns. My one concern is, can Ohio State continue their hot play? Both these teams are actually playing decently right now. Ohio State has won 4 out of their last 5. The only loss coming to a terrific Michigan team. They beat Indiana, beat Nebraska, and Rutgers and Penn State. What are the common themes there, guys? All those teams are not particularly good. So I have some concerns for Ohio State. But then I look at Illinois, and they're getting 8 points here. And I look at them, and I say, well, they look like a great side. They turn you over on defense. Ohio State has had turnover issues all season. You look at Ohio State turning the ball over 19% of their possessions, 219th in the country, not particularly strong. Turnovers have been a problem for Chris Holtman's team. You look at the game against the Michigan Wolverines, they had 19 turnovers in that game. They turn the ball over, they lose. This Illinois team, very opportunistic on defense. But I look at Illinois, 0-6 on the road this year in Big Ten play. They have not went on the road and won games, and that's a problem. They're a young team. This is a team that you look at as far as experience. I mean, they're 306th in the country in experience. They're only averaging about a year for each player. This is a young team, a lot of freshmen. You look at Dunsuma, Basashvili, all these guys. They're all freshmen. All their big boys are freshmen. So that's a concern for me here on the road. But, that's really it. I do think this is too many points. If you're telling me Ohio State, with some of the issues that they have, I worry, because you look at Illinois on defense, they're 14th in the country at turning you over. They're getting a turnover on 23.2% of their defensive possessions. That's high-level defensive turnover basketball. They run out. They're very good with that. And you look at Caleb Wesson, a guy that you have to think could be a matchup problem for Illinois. I'm not so sure. Georgi Basani-Shtavili has played real well. The 6'9" kid from the country of Georgia. He's played some real good basketball for this group, really giving them a nice defensive prowess down low. He's averaging almost 2 blocks a game. He's done a nice job rebounding the ball as well. I really like what I'm seeing from Bezhan Safishvili. This kid has looked real solid. I think he could give Caleb Wesson a bit of a matchup problem down low. But, it's just so hard with Illinois just because they do struggle on the road. But I think they get the job done here. I'll lean Illinois as one of the games that I had my eye on. Another one. This is an interesting game down in the Ohio Valley Conference. Murray State and Austin Peay. Murray State now a favorite, and they look to be possibly the sharp side here. I think people are kind of looking at this game and saying, well, I think both these teams are pretty similar, but I look at 2 things Murray State do that I'm not sure are going to – I think are going to hurt Austin Peay. Austin Peay's at home, and I got to give it to the Governors. Matt Figure's done a great job, 18-7. This team's been terrific. But I think we have to remember this conference outside of Belmont, Murray State, and Jacksonville State isn't very good. So you can be really overrated in this conference. You just can. You look at most of their wins in conference. The only good win you have is Jacksonville State, and you did it by 3 points. You lost to Belmont. Gave up 96 points in that game. There's two things that worry me if I'm Austin Peay. Austin Peay is very reliant on the three-point shot. They're number one in the Ohio Valley from the three-point line. 40% from the three. You look at Murray State, one of their key metrics defensively is how good they've been able to defend the three-point shot this year. Not only in conference, but in general. They're seventh in the country, guys, in three-point defense. They have been very difficult to score on from the perimeter. You ask yourself, why is that? Because their guards are big. Their guards are 6'3", 6'4", 6'5". They're able to get out and run out on shooters, and I think that's going to be a big problem tonight for Austin Peay. You also look at what Austin Peay doesn't have. It's simple. It's Ja Morant. They don't have a Ja Morant. Not many teams do, and that's why, for me, in a toss-up kind of game, I'll always take Murray State. I've not loved Murray State, okay? Lately, they've looked a little beatable, and as I said, if you can't beat the good teams in this conference, you're not going to be able to go to the tournament. And I worry about this team in the OVC tournament. They're going to have to win a lot of games in a short amount of time against teams that they've had trouble with this year. Belmont beat them up. Jacksonville State beat them up. To me, it could be delaying the inevitable if you're Murray State. But who doesn't want to see Ja Morant in the tournament? The kid's terrific. He's going to be a high-level player at the next level. If it's the right team, I think he could be the number one pick. And I mean that. But Austin Peay, solid season, looking good, can always pull an upset. I just don't know if what they do really suits them tonight at home against the Racers. Plus, in a pick'em game, the decider is always going to be Ja Morant. It's that simple. What else do we have here? I thought there wasn't a show. Again, sometimes we're spontaneous and we'll throw something on. I'm only going to be on for another 10 minutes or so. I have to do a call into another show, and I have to get ready to kind of start my night here. Let's keep it going here. A couple other games that I had my eye on. South Dakota State, Omaha. You know, Sharps have not been very receptive of South Dakota State. We've seen a lot of moves in their games down, even in non-conference. I mean, they were getting moves down, and you didn't really understand why. You know, I remember a game that they played Eastern Washington, and then they moved down, I think, from 9.5 to 7.5 points by the game, and they end up covering. I don't understand some of these moves down. You also look at who they're playing tonight. They're 3.5-point favorites. They open 4, bet down to 3.5. For whatever reason, Sharps don't like South Dakota State, and I think I know why. They are spotty at times shooting the basketball. That was no more evident in the first half against the North Dakota Fighting Warriors, or whatever they're called now. They struggled, South Dakota State. They were shooting a lot of threes. They weren't effective. But here's something that made me really look at South Dakota State and say, wow, they are really good. You look at the first half, or actually, let's just say full game. You look at the full game against North Dakota. They were 3 for 25 from three. They hit 12% of their threes, and they still won by 25. You know why? Because they got the ball down low. Threes weren't working in the first half. They didn't have one. But you know what T.J. Otzelberger did? He said, I'm the fucking coach here. We're going to figure this out. We're going to make adjustments. We're going to get the ball to our best player. His name's Mike Dahm. Mike Dahm goes 9 for 11 from 2-point range, and they blow out North Dakota in the second half. T.J. Otzelberger on Saturday showed me that this guy's a legitimate coach, because a lot of coaches would let the players decide what's going to happen. Not today. We're going to decide. I'm the coach. You're going to listen. Threes aren't working. Stop shooting threes. Let's get the ball inside. They ran out this one quickly. And I'll tell you what, they did it not being able to shoot the ball. They made 12% of their threes on 25 shots and still won by 25. This team's legitimate. They're that good. You also look at the fact that in the first half, North Dakota had 32 points. They only finished with 55. For the layperson, that means they scored 23 points in the second half. And that's pretty damn good defensively. This team can flip the script at any time. And do I care that they're on the road up at Omaha? No, I don't. Because Omaha showed time and time again they cannot defend. You look at South Dakota State. I mean, they've um, scored 80 points or more in 5 straight games and 6 of 7. They're on fire. This team is a legitimate, really good offensive team. And you look at Omaha. I mean, this Omaha team stinks on defense. They are shocking. On the season, 341 in defensive field goal efficiency. They're complete shit. They can't defend. And I know they can score. I'm not going to lie. I like them. I like Zach Jackson. Mitchell Hahn's a great shooter. Both these guys can shoot the rock. But I've been impressed with South Dakota State's defense. They were a bit of a sieve last year. They've really tightened it up. You look at in conference, they're number 1 in defensive efficiency. They're only giving up 44.5% from 2-point range, only 36.7% from 3-point range. Really like what I'm seeing out of South Dakota State. I'll lay the points here with South Dakota State. Again, we've seen moves down in their games this year, and it has not mattered. I really like this Jackrabbit team. I think they get to the tournament this year, and in Mike Dom's senior season, it would not surprise me if they win a game for once. It'd be interesting to see who they get because no one's beaten them in this conference. South Dakota's, nowhere near what they were without Craig Smith and Matt Mooney. Frankly, there's no other team that's going to challenge them in this conference. Maybe IPFW, but that's going to be very unlikely. Let me go to an added game here. I think there's an added game that's a little hidden here. What do I think about the over in Murray State? I don't have an opinion on that one. A game that I have an eye on is Utah Valley tonight against New Mexico State. I'm not really understanding this line. I don't know if this line is just, the books are having trouble, creating lines for some of these, but I don't really understand this one. For anyone that's living under a rock and doesn't follow the WAC, Utah Valley's a pretty good team. I mean, they're solid. They beat some good teams in out of conference. You beat Fresno State. You beat Sam Houston. You beat Weber State. You hung tough against BYU. You played New Mexico State a few weeks ago and lost by 5. I don't understand this one. I don't understand why they're getting 9.5 points here. I know it's on the road, and I know it. In this conference, it is tough to win at times on the road. But this Utah Valley team is legit. They're really good on offense. You look at in conference; they're the number 1 effective field goal offense in the conference. Mark Pope's done a real good job with this team. He has 2 kids named Toulson, Connor, and Jake. They're brothers, real good players. TJ Washington's been a nice addition for them as well. I really like this group. They're terrific from the foul line, making over 76% of their free throws in conference. And that's a problem for New Mexico State. When you're laying big numbers, like 9.5, like 8, like 10, and you're not making your free throws, that's a concern. This team's only making 67.4% of their free throws. I look at this defense for Utah Valley, really cut out for the way New Mexico State plays. New Mexico State, very much, we want to get into the paint. We want to create easy offense in the half court. They're not a fast team, very slow tempo, 323 in the country. They want to play in the half court. They want to create. They want to have a long possession. They want to find the best shot. Utah Valley can defend that. They're really good in half-court sets. I don't understand this line, frankly. Play of the day as far as on the show for me. I like this one. I don't understand this one. It seems like too many points. You look at Utah Valley. This team, has went on the road. They've taken care of business for the most part. They have had some hard luck losses. Lost to Grand Canyon by 11. Didn't shoot the ball well in that game. And I think they were without TJ Washington. He only played 14 minutes in that game. So that one hurt, obviously. But they've went on the road and have won some big games. You beat Weber State. You went on the road and beat Fresno. Played neutral and beat Long Beach and Hartford. I'm not going to tell you that Northern Arizona is a good team, but it's tough to go up to elevation and win. Flagstaff's a high elevation area. And, I wanted to bring this up. I had not a beef, but I had a chat with King Rail on his show last night. I think there's a stark contrast between professional athletes and college athletes in elevation. I don't think elevation means anything in NBA. I think these guys are too they're too programmed. They played the game for so long. Elevation isn't going to bother them for as again as athletically gifted as they are. I just don't think it really is a big problem. Maybe for the first 3 or 4 minutes, but I think once the game kind of gets into it, I don't think elevation means anything. Now in college, I will say I think elevation is key. But the key to remember about elevation, and this is a good tipping point, if you're someone that the CBI, the CIT, the NIT. What I like about those conferences is matchups are really there. Matchups are important. And you can have situations where, and I remember this a couple years ago, elevation could be a real advantage. It's all about matchups in those games and where the games are. And you look at one situation, I remember a few years ago, Coastal Carolina was playing Wyoming in the, I want to say the CBI. It was the final 2 games. And the CBI, you have 2 games. You have one at one place, one at the other. I think it's a 3-game set, or what, I don't know, whatever it is. And I remember Coastal Carolina had to go out to Laramie. And I remember thinking in that game, I'm going to pound Wyoming in this game. Because you look at Coastal Carolina, they don't play in elevation ever. And I'm willing to say not one of those kids on Coastal has ever played in elevation. That'd be like you or me going out and playing in Laramie. It'd be the same situation. Now, they'd be a little more equipped because they're athletic and I'm not. But to be able to say that you think they can go out and play in Laramie, it's a stone cold play. And if you see those spots, so let's say, like, what I would do, and this is what I do, is I make lists for things. Okay, so like I have a list that I've created a long time ago where I locate teams that are elevation teams. They play in elevation. Utah Valley, Northern Arizona, Wyoming, Colorado State, Air Force, all those teams. A lot of the Rocky Mountain teams. And keep those teams in your head because some of these teams, like Utah Valley, are going to be in postseason tournaments. Now, if they get a home game, and let's say the home game is against, I don't know, Drake, let's say, or a Southern team or a Mid-Atlantic team, or let's say they play Rutgers, whoever. That's a big time advantage for Utah Valley. Make sure you're seeing that stuff late in the season. And that'll be obviously when conference tournaments, not conference tournaments, more or less the postseason tournaments, CBI, CIT, and NIT. You're not going to see it in the March Madness tournament. They don't schedule games in elevation, so you won't have to worry about that. But you want to make sure that you're seeing that. And this is kind of something interesting. Utah Valley, one of those teams that is an elevation team. And they're going to be in postseason tournaments, so make sure you remember that. But yeah, tonight I think Utah Valley is really worth a look tonight, plus 9.5 against New Mexico State. You look at the sites this year for the March Madness tournaments: Dayton, Hartford, Salt Lake City is interesting. There are some elevation questions there. So that's interesting, but it's not as high as Denver or some of these real mountain locales. And obviously Tulsa, Columbus, Jacksonville, no issues there. So keep all that in mind when you're looking at this kind of stuff. It does not matter in the NBA. So again, and it clearly didn't mean much to Sacramento last night because they went in and beat up Denver. So I don't agree with that whatsoever. But again, that's your opinion. I don't think it has any bearing whatsoever. But let's keep it moving here. I'm kind of going to wrap it up, though, guys. I wanted to kind of go over 4 or 5 games, some great info here that I think all of you can use to help your cards tonight. Anything on Montana? Yeah, I like Travis DeCour's team. I really do. They should go and beat Weber. Weber's been weird. I mean, really weird. But I'll tell you what, Montana's won 7 in a row. Really not a team I think you're running to jump in front of. They already beat this Weber State team by 7. They were up in that game mostly by double digits. Coe was terrific. Mod Rory was great. So, yeah, I would definitely probably Coastside Montana. I'm not really looking to step in front of that group right now. Lucky, what's up? Thanks for joining us. Trenton Claxton, thanks for joining us. Any thoughts on Celtic? No, I don't have any opinion on Celtic. The only right now, guys, I'll get back to probably the Champions League down the road. I'm kind of focused right now on the England leagues. I've done pretty well with that. So, yeah, so check that out. Also, guys, I will have a short stint today on radio down in North Carolina. So if you're in that area, you can check me out on Pirate Radio 1250 in Greenville. I'll be on there about 3:40. I've been doing a spot for them since August, speaking with my friend Clip Brock down there. They're basically the flagship station for East Carolina sports. I do a lot of these, random places. I'll be on there at 3:40, 3:45 around then, doing some sports betting stuff with Clip Brock. You can listen if you're in the area, pirateradio1250.com, Pirate Radio 1250, and 9:30. So that'll be at 3:45, and we'll have some fun with that. Did I win the contest? Yeah, we have one more night tonight, and we'll see what happens. I'm winning right now. I have kind of a plan for it, to be honest. So again, I'm quite happy where I am. My plan is to not make any plays tonight. I've made the amount of plays that I need to make, and I followed all the rules. So I'm going to hope that King Rail doesn't go 2-0 or 3-0, and I'm kind of betting against that he won't. I'm not making any plays. I'm happy where I am, and I'm going to play the game here. So we'll see what King Rail does. He's made a few plays. If he goes 2-0, he'll beat me. I'm willing to not further hurt my chance by not only having to have him lose, but then I need to win on top of it. So I'm just going to let him make his plays. He needs to win to beat me. So I'll let him do that, and I'll play the game and just watch. When you're doing this business, you cannot further risk more than you have to. I'll let King Rail, if he goes 2-0, I will congratulate him. I'll say, salute, you've beaten me. But I'm in the lead right now, and I'm not going to jeopardize it any further. Do I know his plays for tonight? No, I do not. Throughout this competition, we don't know each other's plays until the games go off. Yeah, we don't do that. So I've not ever known his plays. I try to figure what they might be, but I have not. And I've often told what my plays are beforehand, and I'm sure he does as well. So I'm just going to sit where I am and just kind of hope that his plays don't win. But it's been a fun competition. I've enjoyed it. I think I've shown him that I can cap NBA, and I can cap it differently. And if I win, that'll just be cool. I feel that I'm pretty strong at everything I do, and I have my own system for doing it. And it's not to say that each system's right or not. He has his way of doing it, and I have my way of doing it. And it's been fun the entire time. I'd love to do it again if he ever wants to do it, even if I lose or win. Doesn't matter to me. I will challenge anyone in whatever they want, and I've been very up for that this entire time. So it's been a fun competition. I'll miss it, actually. I've kind of gotten into it doing it. It's been fun to follow and stick with. So I'm out of here, guys. You have a nice day. Remember, take care of your girl. Don't just take care of her because it's Valentine's Day. You should always be taking care of your significant other or the woman in your life. I don't talk smack. There's no need. I said I would win, and I'm going to win. I don't need to talk any more than that. I wish him the best of luck, though. So, yeah, make sure you do that. Also, make sure you're supporting the sponsor. Again, mybookie.ag. They have some great lines right now. Real cool stuff as the tournament comes. They have a bracket challenge as well. Make sure when you open your account, use the promo code BMOC. BMOC. You get 50% off. You get 50% on your first deposit in free plays. There's no holding the bonus. You could play it on whatever you want right away. You want to put it on a plus, 140 money line, go ahead. You want to put it on a plus 300 money line, go ahead. It's free money. Check out mybookie.ag. Do have some great future lines as well. Use the promo code BMOC. So that's that, guys. Have a great day. Thanks for joining us. This has been the Hoops Hour, only for a half hour, but it's been the Hoops Hour. You'll have a great day. Good luck. Maybe get involved with a couple of games we talked about. I think there's some value. See you tomorrow, 5 o'clock Eastern. Bye-bye.